The Donald Trump election, a black swan event, which will be very good for the price of gold and silver. We're going to look at the fact that this election of Donald Trump probably can be qualified as a black swan event. And that's not a good or bad. This has nothing to do with politics. This has to do with the big news that we got last week, the big election, and how it will impact the silver and gold price. It is super interesting. I've yet to hear anybody else talking about this, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Donald Trump getting elected in the manner that he was, a landslide victory, an annihilation, that was actually a black swan event and will be very, very positive for the price of gold and silver as we head into the coming months, quarters, and years. Hey, thank you for joining me tonight. You are the most important part of Ron's Basement. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, super chat, super thanks are super appreciated. We're going to talk a lot more about this black swan and look at how other black swans in the last few decades have resulted in big moves up in the prices of the precious metals. But let's get up to speed here on the silver price and the gold price. We got a lot going on right now, guys. Hold on here. I'm in PFC to bear with me. Okay, here we go. Let's go out and just do a quick update on the gold and silver price. We'll go to channel sponsor Pimbex and press the magic button. Okay. All right. Happy Sunday night, my fellow basement dwellers. We like to see green. Silver, $31.45. Gold, $2,688.47. But we got a lot to talk about with silver right now. Let me just say thanks to Pimbex for sponsoring Ron's Basement. If you want to get your hands on gold, silver, or platinum group metals, please support channel sponsor Pimbex. Everyone from the channel, everyone from the community has provided me with overwhelming positive feedback. So if you want to get like the best prices, great selection, and what's paramount is getting to deal with a company you can trust, give Pimbex a chance, right? I'll never tell you what to do. Do your own work, do your own due diligence, but I think you'll be real happy. Now, we got a lot going on. What about silver manipulation? Can you say that with me in a very angry tone? Let's go get the latest data. This was from Friday on how much. Here we go from our friend the Dude. Let's highlight this because this bears us as silver and gold investors our attention. All right, let's turn that into green, okay, because it makes us red. He said the silver market, he's referring to Friday, traded 474 million paper ounces yesterday, which is Friday. The COMEX had 180 deliveries. The LBMA had 1790. The LBMA will have a major delivery month that is being sucked dry by India. The Indians are just sucking in all the silver in the world, guys. It's crazy. Remember when they cut rates, they're about to print fiat on steroids. But what's stunning about this, again, I think on Wednesday of last week, and here's all the data down here, okay? He puts it all in there. This guy follows it every single day. Okay, so Wednesday of last week, right? They traded 700 million paper ounces of silver. 700. The whole mining sector only puts out 800 per year. That was Wednesday, the day after the election. Thursday, traded 500 million ounces. And now we get the news that Friday, they trade another 500. Wait, let's do the math. 500 million plus 500 million, that's $1 billion. And then you add the other 700 million, that's 1.7 billion ounces. Are you catching on to what's going on here? In 3 days, okay, they traded 1.7 billion ounces of paper. This is paper silver, make believe, manipulation. You know what? I don't care what they say, right? If it's paper and it's not real, then if it's being traded, it's manipulative. Not to mention the fact that JP Morgan had several of their traders get sentenced to jail for manipulation of the price, but that's not the shocker. The shocker, and we're going to get back to Trump, and we got a black swan, and I'm telling you, Trump is going to be good for gold and silver. We're going to we're going to have one of the, and then I'm all over I apologize. I'm all over the place on you guys, but we're going to have, and then we're going to come back to Trump. We're going to have one of those situations where we're going to look back in a year from now and say, man, those first couple of days after Trump got elected, gold and silver, it was tough. It was volatile, right? But look how it turned out so happy for us. Now, back to the manipulation. We just said, right? The day after the election, Wednesday, 700 million paper ounces traded. Thursday and Friday, 500,000 each. That's 1.7 billion ounces of silver. Guys, guess what? Right? That means in 3 days, 1.7 billion ounces. 3 days, that's 2 times the entire mine output for the entire year. In 3 days, right? They traded paper silver, the equivalent of 2 years. 3 days, they traded 2 years worth of silver production. And you're going to tell us it's not manipulated, right? I mean, come on. In 3 days, they wiped out 2 years, the next 2 years worth of silver. Think about it. Think about it. It's crazy. When this paper, and then I promise you, I give you a solemn basement promise. I'll zip my lips. But guys, when this paper market here, this was not traded. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's called an American Silver Eagle. Okay. That one's even got some toning on it from being done. This was not traded. No, this sat here in the basement. The silver you have, not traded. When the physical market, which is this, right, beats up and wins over this paper market, it is going to be an epic rise in prices. That's what I see happen. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything I'm saying, but doesn't it just make sense? I mean, doesn't it just make sense? I'm going to say it one last time for those of you. We have 500 people here. Thank you, guys. This is awesome for a Sunday night. In 3 days, they traded 1.7 billion paper ounces of silver. Make believe. Woo, there it is. Not this. Remember, that didn't trade. 3 days, 1.7 billion ounces. I'll say it one last time. That's the equivalent of 2 years worth of mine output. Do you know how hard it is? I talked with Jorge Ganoza, the CEO of Fortuna Mining. All right. They started out as a silver mining company. I've had discussions with Jorge in the past, right? Like silver is tougher and tougher and tougher and tougher to find. I mean, it's a very, I mean, when we look at, and what does that mean for you as a silver investor? That means 10 years from now, right? when the paper market is blowing, is gone, right? And the world is demanding silver like nothing before, you're going to be sitting very, very pretty. Okay, let's go check on our friend, the Oriental Ghost. Let's go all the way to China and get the most up-to-date info that we can. Okay. Actually, this was from Friday, but still, we're going to look at it quickly one more time. This is from the Shanghai Gold Exchange, and we emphasize the high because the price is always higher. Right, there's silver AG on the SGE, the Shanghai Gold Exchange, which also trades silver, $33.61. That would be over $2 higher. Here's Pimbex. Okay, 31.42. Okay, the price, it's just, oh boy. And for those of you who don't know, most of you do know, the Shanghai Gold Exchange is a physical market. All right, it's going to open. It might be open. Actually, it's probably open right now. This is going to be an interesting week. And I'm telling you, with this black swan that we just had, I'm calling it. You don't have to agree with me. And that's not a political statement. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm calling the Trump election a black swan event. But we're not done yet. Okay, we got new data, a new chart from James Turk. We got to look at this. All right, this is like one of the godfathers of silver. What is he saying? He's telling us we got a warning, but he's telling us some good things too. Price retracements. We went through a little rough period last week with the silver price. Back to support aren't unusual after upside breakouts. I gave that low odds for silver, proving markets can do anything, meaning he was a little bit surprised by the pullback we had. Now we need to see support hold. Ideally, this test will end in the week ahead. A weekly close above $32 will signal the uptrend is resuming. I need to look at you. I want to feel good about this. I want to feel real good. It's Sunday night. On Friday, Saturday, next weekend, let's please, I need you to do me a favor. Can you please make sure the silver price is above $32 per ounce? It's critical. I mean, I know we obsess about silver and gold, platinum, some of you also a little more than average, but we really need that silver price. And let's look at his chart to show why. Oh, there's the Shanghai. Okay, so when we look at this chart, we're going to pull the crayons out here. Okay, this goes back to August of 2020, right? Now we saw this inverse head and shoulder, right? That started about August 2021. Boom. Okay, that's the left shoulder. This is like a person standing on their head, right? And it looks like this. Don't get a dirty mind when I draw this. Okay. Okay, that's the shoulder, the head, and the shoulder. And that's what you see here. Left shoulder, the head that went down. Remember Christmas 2022 when we could buy silver for under $20 per ounce? Man, those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end, but they did because silver came back up, right? And then we did this side of the shoulder. And as you know, we then broke out, up this way. Now, we are in a critical zone where we absolutely, this is the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders. On so many reasons, guys, we need to stay above $31 per ounce silver, $32 per ounce silver. There's no other way about it. One more quick thing on silver, then we're going to get back to this black swan, why the Trump election could be so good. I mean, big for silver and gold investors. But I'm hearing from a number of sources out there, heard it from CoinShop Chris, heard it from a number of other people in the bullion, the dimes and 90% silver all of a sudden last week was selling like crazy. Have you heard that? Are you experiencing that? CoinShop Chris even made a video that is like a blowout major. Here's his channel, CoinShop Chris. Many of you remember him. He still is a great friend of the channel, comes on the channel all the time, but he's got his own channel now. I'd encourage you to go check it out. CoinShop Chris, all you got to put in the thing up there. But he put out a video earlier, Kiss 90% Silver Goodbye. It's already got 6,000 views. Basically, he said his shop is sold out of 90% silver. I know there's other shops. I saw one shop owner up in, I think it was Seattle, talking about it, and some other, it's kind of going on like 90, there's like big demand for 90% silver. Now, I did go out to Pimbex. We'll go look there really quickly, and it seemed like they had, so if you go to silver, and you go down here, U.S. coinage, 90%, make sure I got you guys on the right screen. They got a lot in stock, right? They've got the Franklin $50, the Kennedy $50, Mercury dimes. Dimes apparently are becoming very, very scarce. The silver dimes, the constitutional 90% silver dimes. They even had some bags down here. So I'm not recommending you buy any. CoinShop Chris he's the king of junk silver. He claims that there's like massive demand right now for especially the dimes, and he's perplexed by all this. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. Hey guys, the Trump election is good for gold and silver. Now, Jake from Jake's Custom Parts said it earlier in the week, like, let's let all the dust settle. Let all the dust settle. I'm going to explain to you why and why I believe it's a black swan, okay? Because number one, everybody thought it was a toss-up, the election, and Trump won the election, okay? After all those years of negative press, all that, all the lawsuits, you know that whole thing. But number two, it was a landslide. Now, that's the shocking part, right? That was the shocker, I think, to everybody. I mean, and I know, again, I'm not making any political statements here whatsoever, but a whooping. It was a landslide victory, and that was a shock. That was a black swan event in my book. Okay, and I'll tell you why. I even went out and looked. And then also we have half the country in mourning. You've seen these. I'm not. I mean, some people are. Let's just say a little upset. I'll leave it at that. Okay, but what is a black swan? And why would we go as far as to qualify this as a black swan? Okay, here, a black swan event is an unexpected, rare event that has severe consequences and is difficult to predict. I would say it was unexpected, right? To me, anyone's political viewpoints set aside, the fact that it was a landslide victory was definitely unexpected. A rare event, okay, that has severe consequences. And I would say that it will, because the changes they're talking about making will be severe and difficult to predict. Okay. And then the other thing that I've heard about black swans as well is then people in hindsight will say, oh, well, we should have seen it coming. You know, they'll try to figure out like how they should have been able to see. And I'm sure that's what all the people on CNN and the Children's News Network are doing right now, right? Trying to figure it out. But why are black swans? What does history tell us that they do for the silver price and the gold price? I think it's pretty darn easy to see. Let's go out here first, and just to show you the extremity of this event. Here it goes. This comes from Zero Hedge. Trump takes Arizona, completes a sweep of all swing states. Now, this to me proves that we've got a black swan. CNN says the Trump victory was so massive that he, quote unquote, broke history. Okay? Broke history. And again, that is CNN, what we jokingly like to refer to as the Children's News Network, is admitting. Now, let's just say they were not pro-Trump, right? We all know that. They're saying he broke history. When something breaks history, wouldn't you say that that's a black swan event? Now, let's look at what happened during previous black swan events and then talk about other major factors, reasons why a Trump administration is very likely going to be very, very bullish for silver and gold. Okay, so I want to pull up a chart of silver and go through a list of events that happened in the past. Okay, think about what happened back here. Here we are in the year 2000, after the tech bubble burst. Okay, we had silver at about $5, and as you can see, it kind of levitated for a few years. But over that period of time, okay, we had silver, right, leading up to, let's even just go to 2006, doubled in price, tripled almost in price. That was after the tech bubble. Most people say that was a black swan. What about after the 9/11 attacks occurred back in 2001? Same time period. And again, we saw the price of silver go up and up and up. What about after the great financial crisis back in 07, 08? Make sure I got you on the same screen. Yes, I do. Okay. Here. What about after the great financial crisis? 07, 08. Look at what silver did, right? Okay. And then look at what silver eventually did during that period up to 2011. That's when we had the major run all the way to $50 silver. Look at what happened after C19. Hold on. Here we go. We have to consider all this, okay? Here was March. Let's get the crayons out of 2020, right? That's when we had silver go down to what? I don't know, it was like $14 or something, and then immediately shot up and doubled in price. And even if we go back and think about the 1970s, guys, which my chart's not going to go all the way back to, we know what happened to the silver price during those events. And that maybe or maybe not would be qualified as a black swan. But what I'm saying is the Trump election was a black swan. Again, you don't have to agree with me, and it's not a political statement, but we know what happens after these major events, and I am absolutely, I mean, I'm absolutely feeling convinced that we will have major upticks in the silver and gold price. Okay. Trump will print money, period. Trump will print money. Trump will apply major pressure to Jerome Powell. Trump wants a easy money environment. Okay. Look, again, you could probably figure out my political leanings. And so I'm not at all putting him down, but the reality is, if you look at his history, he's been willing to rack up debt in his businesses, right? Major. I mean, the guy will. We're gonna. He'll print money like no tomorrow and put major pressure on the Fed to keep interest rates low. Okay, and on top of that, we got to go look. We got to go on our daily field trip. We are in a situation right now in this country that is absolutely, is this the big day? Is this the big day? We're out here at the U.S. debt clock. Is it? We need to go take a look. Ooh, we're almost there. We have $35,988 billion in national debt. That did not get erased when we had this black swan event of Donald Trump winning in a landslide. Okay, that did not get erased. That is not going anywhere. The only thing, I mean, the only option, and he'll do it, and he'll do it with a full throttle, will be easy money. Easy money. Okay, let's go out since we're here. Let's take a look at the dollar to silver ratio, which, oh, shocker, it's now at 982. I remember us sitting down here, guys. I remember us sitting down here in the basement talking about this when it was zero and everybody was freaking out, right? This measures for each 1 ounce of silver that's being produced every year, how many paper dollars are being printed via the M2 money supply for that each 1 ounce of silver that's being produced on a worldwide basis. And we can see clearly here that as of today, for each 1 ounce of silver that's being produced in the world, 982 paper dollars are being created. And we will, because we like lists, we will update our list. And as you can see on a daily basis, as we've been tracking this, it's been 17 days, and we've gone from 740 all the way to 982. Now, there's this other thing out there. I don't really get it, but we'll open it up. The secret window. You want me to open the secret window? Let's open it up. All right. See if we can make sense of this. It's called the American Super Cycle, a golden age of wonders. I wonder if you can click on this. Brings us over to X, and I guess that's it, right? Imagine a world without the Fed. The new USA dollar. It's elemental, gold and silver. Okay. All right. We love the U.S. debt clock. Very interesting. They always are coming up with new inventive ways, and I think it's safe for us to say that they're very pro gold and silver. Let's go get an update since we're live here on a Sunday night. This is a critical week, guys. I'm going to go back to the main. All right, silver's up 11 cents. What do you say, basement dwellers? I think we'll keep checking, right? We're going to go higher and higher. Look at that. Gold up $1. All right, we'll take it. Okay. Oh, the other interesting thing about the Trump presidency is this Judy Shelton wild card. If you don't know who Judy Shelton is, not now, stay with us because we got a lot more to talk about. But guys, Judy Shelton, Donald Trump tried to put her into the Fed last time he was president. She is the biggest friend, the biggest amiga, right? Amiga? I think that's how you say friend, female friend in Spanish. The biggest friend to gold and silver potential at the Fed in the history of the universe. Now, I even read an article saying that there's a potential that when Gomer Pyle, right? I know you want to see him. You want to see him? Let me get him out. Well, anyway, yeah, here, this guy. Oh, what's coming out of this box? Oh, it's a bunch of toilet paper. Huh? Yeah. Get ready, Jerome. Okay. But his term is up. That would be Jerome Powell. Early 2026. Some people, I'm hearing speculation that Judy Shelton could be considered to replace Jerome Powell. She's like a gold standard person. She's like a metals person. She's talking about issuing U.S. government bonds that are gold backed. Okay. We could be in, I'm telling you guys, we are in for a crazy, we had a black swan event when Donald Trump won in a landslide. Shocked everybody. Historic. Even CNN said it. And we are, as a country, in such a precarious financial fiscal position right now. It is going to be a crazy 4 years ahead. We're probably going to see things happen from a monetary perspective that are going to make our eyes spin. But I'm telling you, you cannot beat this. And I'll show it one last time. Oh, looks like I closed it down. The U.S. debt clock, the $36 trillion in debt. You cannot, it's kind of like, it's like, I hate to use this word, but like a cancer that the United States has, right? You can do all kinds of funny stuff, but at the end of the day, the country has racked up so much debt. It's sickening. There's a chart. If you're, interest payments being the average interest payment being paid by a U.S. household right now is like skyrocketing. All right. And we are moving into what is going to be a very precarious situation in our country. Right. We'll see how it all plays out. And if Judy Shelton gets put into the Fed, Katie, bar the door. Okay. What about the digital dollar? People are all upset. CBDCs, digital dollars. I want to remind you something. Are you afraid? Right? No more paper. Oh my gosh. Right? Here it is. I've been gone for a little while. Right? No more of this. No more paper money. Digital money, CBDCs. Right? It's happening right now. It's happening right now. Okay. Something to consider. People and businesses right throughout the world are moving away from paper money. It's like people are willingly moving away from cash and using their debit cards, using their credit cards, right? You know, you probably do it. So do I. It's like this move away from is already happening. So I would imagine in the next couple of years, it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's going to be gone, right? No more cash. Right? I don't agree with it. Don't get me wrong. That's just my personal, you have your own personal feelings. I don't agree with it. I mean, how do you feel about a world with no cash? But I want to remind you of something very, very, very important as a silver and gold investor when we look at this move away from cash, guys, because if this is not around anymore, okay, paper money, and the only form of official money in the United States and probably most countries around the world is going to be digital money, okay? And then what else is the other big store of value? And we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. Cryptocurrency. So what are your options going to be? Right? You got your digital money in your bank account. We won't even go into that. You got cryptocurrency. Where's that at? I keep trying to grab a Bitcoin. I can't find it. Ethereum. Oh, there's an Ethereum. No, right? What are your options going to be? If you want something real that's a store of value, that's what's so exciting about gold and silver. Because imagine 5 years from now, no more of this. Bye-bye. I know you're going to miss it, right? Paper money, right? No more paper money. Everything's digital. Crypto or whatever, digital dollars, which it's already happening. What's the only option left, right? To store value. Do I need to give you a big hint? Yeah, gold and silver, right? I mean, and it's already growing. Think about that. Think about Costco selling gold and silver, the Costco dads. And they'll wake up. They'll start buying it from, when they realize that Costco's a good place to buy toilet paper and ribeye steaks, no doubt about it, right? But if you're going to buy gold and silver, you want to buy it from a specialist, right? A company that's all they do, like Pembex, channel sponsor. Nonetheless, I digress. It's already happening. We're already moving towards a pure digital money system. Right? And what's going to be left? It will be gold and silver. And I don't want to talk. If you ever, this, right? Gold and silver have been part of the smear, campaign in the 1970s. Hollywood engaged in it, right? To smear gold and silver to discourage American citizens from owning gold and silver. Like, oh, it's pirates and robbers, thieves, blah, 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 use gold and silver. No, it's going to be just even everyday average people, because guess what? When the paper money's gone, the paper money went bye-bye, right? So you can't hold that anymore. It's not worth anything. It's not accepted anywhere. And people are willingly doing that right now. Businesses, Six Flags, Major League Baseball stadiums, right? No more cash. Where was I the other day? It said no cash. We don't take cash anymore. A lot of it's going to be gold and silver. That's a good thing for us. Although here's the kicker. I almost forgot the kicker. The kicker is just because they turn this into digital dollars, it's still going to be losing its value, and even quicker, right? Do we need to review the U.S. debt clock again? No, we don't need to. It's going to be losing its value even quicker. Okay. So now let's talk about Bitcoin, and I want to pull up a very interesting. Hold on here. Very interesting. You know what? We'll do it this way. So, am I down there? Where am I? Hold on here. There we go. All right. Let's see here. This is from our friend Oren, the Silver Hermit. Okay. Talking about Bitcoin. Have you noticed? And I'm not anti-Bitcoin. I'm not at all. Hold on. Let me look at all the Bitcoin people out there. I'm not anti-Bitcoin. I'm not anti-crypto. I get it. We're all on the same team. Okay. But I prefer physical, something I can hold if I'm going to go outside of the banking system. In Oren, okay, I'm just sharing different opinions here. Oren had this to say, which I thought was interesting about Bitcoin. He says, we don't know who invented Bitcoin, whether it was really a mysterious genius called Satoshi Nakamoto or the NSA, but we can say with certainty that it would never have emerged if the price of gold and silver weren't artificially suppressed. The main driver behind crypto is not the ability to transfer it over great distances or across borders. It is first and foremost its rapid price appreciation. Yeah, which I would agree with, which only occurred because there was no other outlet for excess liquidity in the system. So you might as well say that the Federal Reserve invented Bitcoin. Without them, it would never be a thing. And I think what he's saying here is quite simply this, right? All that extra money that was printed, and I've had this suspicion myself by the government, like during the C-19 crisis, all that printed money, like 40% of the US dollars that are in existence were printed in the year after the C-19 crisis. Hold on, let's have a drink of coffee. It had to go somewhere. Right. And I had that suspicion that like the crypto, because now it's being pumped. It's being pumped by President Trump. It's being pumped by the mainstream media. It's being pumped by the mainstream financial sector. And let me tell you something. Just because the mainstream financial sector pumped something, they pumped mortgage-backed securities in 2006 and 2007 and gladly sold them. They'll pump anything they can make a buck off of. Okay. So we'll leave it at that. But I think what Oren is saying, and I think it's worth considering, right, that they've used it as a relief valve for all this excess money that was printed, right? And that really the appeal of it is that it just keeps going up and up and up in value as measured in US dollars. So it's getting very, very interesting. let's go out and check here. Hold on. Let's do an update on the gold and silver price. It's Sunday night. Please be green. Please, I like green. We like the green on the top of the screen. Let's do it. I'm going to press the Pimbex magic button here, guys. Okay, we're red. Boo, down 6 cents. That's okay. We can come back. We can come back. We can come back. All right, guys. Hey, thank you for joining me. We just got back in town. I'm back in the basement. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. I usually do a live stream early in the morning, but my dad is a veteran. He's 90 years old, 89 years old, and they're having a thing at my kid's school, so I got to go do that. I'll probably do a live stream later tomorrow, but thank you for being here. Thanks to channel sponsor Pimbex. Thanks to channel sponsor First Mining Gold. Thanks to channel sponsor Fortuna Mining. I got links to all their websites in the description of this and all the videos. Check out also, guys, and I have a coupon code. Oh, I forgot to tell you, big announcement. I forgot to talk about this right here, hanging from the ceiling. Oh, here, I got it right here. Hold on. Dirty Man Safe. This is the dirty girl. Look at this. Okay. We are doing a giveaway on December 30th of a Dirty Man Safe. So there's a link in the description of this video where you can go and it's like a 3-minute little video that tells you how to enter. It's real simple. You just have to leave a comment on that video. I'll give you a big hint. Okay. That's it. Thank you. Okay. It's a big deal when you join me here in the basement. I hope you feel like you found a little home away from home. Get a lot of nice people here. Wonderful community. Okay. And that's you. I'm talking to you, right? It's not possible without you and your support. So have a good night. Okay. And I will see you soon. Thank you.